Hi everybody and welcome to another tutorial. We're going to be looking at something that's actually pretty interesting and core, moving away from just the pure academic to looking at the actual critical path of a business analyst as they interact on a project from beginning to end. So we can see from this chart it does look confusing. Trust me, it's a lot simpler than it looks. And what I've done is up here, oops, is you'll see I've outlined this text which actually relates the stages as you see them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. As it moves across the project sequence of plan, define, analyze, design and build, and test, and finally down here, deploy. So for each segment I'm going to relate of the project, I'm going to relate it to the business analyst in terms of the tasks they perform and the knowledge areas related to those areas of the project, as you'll see here. So from the beginning, we're going to look at sections 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we can see these 1 to 5 relates to the current state of the business. That's what the business analyst is actually effectively looking at. And we can see that this knowledge area, the tool set they'll apply, is from the toolbox of enterprise analysis. So let's look at this section here. The orange is the PID, which is the project management documents, and the sort of, I guess that's a beigey orange color, is the analysis plan, and it's related to the BA artifacts or documents or tasks. So at stage 1, we start off with a need or an opportunity. So we're looking at needs assessment, and we have an initial BA plan, and from there we then move up to starting to take a snapshot of the organizational units, being the context, structure, and people, and for the BA, looking at the business needs and the problems. This is everything we covered in the enterprise analysis tutorial. From there, we then moved on to looking at the stakeholder map and the teams involved, and looking at the titles versus roles and expected input risks. So from there we can get the stakeholder analysis, and from the communication side, the communication matrix, how they all interact with each other. From there we move to step 4, and we're looking at functions. And for business analysis, they're going to provide a map of services in use, and also the map of the functions, which then ties in with processes. And we're looking at a map of systems in use, which obviously ties in with services in use, data used, and map of the processes. So that takes care of the current state of the business and the enterprise analysis knowledge area. From here, we're then going to move on to the higher level analysis, and here we're going to have an overlap of 2, actually 3, maybe 4 knowledge areas. So from here, once the enterprise analysis is complete, we then move on to the next logical flow, which is business analysis, planning and monitoring, how we're going to tackle the project. And that really kicks off, overlaps at stage 5, and is completed in stage 6. And then we're also looking at the requirements solicitation in terms of actually looking at the requirements from a high level point of view, and then obviously then going into detailed analysis requirements. So we're looking at basically, we've done the gap analysis, we've done the requirements management plan, we've done the high level requirements, and obviously from the high level requirements we start looking at use case models and solution vision and solution scope. These are all in the, obviously, coming out of the enterprise analysis overspill. And then we start from the high level. We can start then looking at, we've got more of a scope, we've got some context, we can start looking at a detailed analysis. And it's important to remember that while we're doing the elicitation, we're doing analysis along the way at the same time. Some people say you do the elicitation, then analyze it. No, you don't. They run parallel at the same time because you need to know when to adjust as you're going along. So at stage 7, the detailed analysis, we start to get to the functional and non-functional requirements, as we can see there. We start to build some traceability, some market business rules, data flows, and of course the business requirements and some glossary. Also, we can start then working on requirements management and communication between stages 6 and onwards, up to 10. We start looking at communicating these requirements to stakeholders and getting feedback, and that obviously ties in with the analysis. Stage 8, we're looking at solution blueprint, and so that's obviously then tying into the requirements, and we're starting to prioritize, doing the solution assessment and validation side of things, and starting to look at, as we know, actually it starts on 9 and 10, but actually prematurely it starts at 8. And so we're looking at the solution architecture design and start looking at some data modeling. That's obviously coming out of the requirements. So now we're kind of moving into the solutions assessment and validation. And in the and bearing in mind all along here from stage 7, 8, and 9, we're tracking changes to requirements, which ties in requirements management and communication. There'll be a lot of changes in this area. And in section 9, we're looking at development. And from development, we're looking at technical design, change requests, and software technical spec. Obviously, the change request ties in with requirements management and communication, tracking changes to requirements. And at the solution UAT, we're looking at testing, building test scenarios, test scripts, solution validation reports, and defect reports. So it's all about quality control. And this obviously ties in with the assessing the solution. And then finally, once this is all complete, we then move on to approving the use cases, approving test exit reports, we build a full glossary, approve technical spec, and we complete finding of our lessons learned, and project deployed. So this is actually quite a good chart. We can see from here the critical path of a standard business analyst. In this context, it's for an IT project, and we can see from the enterprise analysis into BA planning through to requirements elicitation and analysis, and communicating the requirements, and then we're looking at solution assessment and validation, and obviously testing, which includes testing and deploying. It also provides a good interaction of how a BA really hands-on works with project managers also. So I hope you found this interesting, and stay tuned for the next tutorial. This is Adam. Thank you.